Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I am Legal Vices, and we're here for another day. I'm not nearly as chipper as I sound. I am tired, I'm beat, I'm exhausted. Just kind of still on the tail end of some jet lag coming back. Um, Kind of get a little bit loopy about this time, and then we've been at a stupid forced fun baseball game all day. I mean, I like baseball. I like the local team, the Lotte Giants here in Busan, but they have a habit of getting their asses handed to them regularly, and today was no exception. I have no idea what the final score was because I bailed in the middle of the eighth inning when they were losing 8-2. So how is your day wherever it is you are, and please let me know where you are. While we're doing that, we'll scroll through the what are we going to call them, the pre messages. Hey, good morning, Flux, or good evening, Flux, or good whatever you are, Flux. Swan Lake lady, good Thursday morning to you. Coco, you got to wait a half an hour. Not anymore. We're live. Laura Solomon, wait, Depp team was pushing to get this stuff unsealed. It was the herd of bovine brains that wanted secrets kept. Oh, well, you came to the right place. Let's find out tonight more of what Johnny Depp wanted to hide. And by hide, I just mean exclude as evidence. The title is total clickbait. Right, Flux, you're bored with your work. You finished Nick's stream. You're just okay. We got Brisbane, Australia. Great. Hey, Alan Tempest, always great to see you here. Flux, hey, what time is it there? It is 11:35 p.m. here. Everybody's saying hi to everybody else. Scotland checking in. Let's see, East Coast of the U.S. Paul Farrell in Flint, Michigan. Let's see, we've got people saying hooray. Oh, it's Mr. Baseball, says Swan Lake. Melbourne, Australia. Let's see. Check. You guys are commenting faster than I can scroll. New Mexico, Washington. Good afternoon. Hey, everybody. Let's see. Florida, Canada. Ontario, Canada. I would say Canada's a big place. Seattle, Germany, everywhere else. We got Australia, Maryland, etc. Norway, Canada here. Norfolk, UK. Norfolk. Got it. It's Norfolk, Virginia, and Norfolk, England, I guess. Western Washington, Ireland. I was checking in. Florida, baby, Tennessee. Okay, that's it. And so I'll just assume everybody's from everywhere. We're all present and accounted for here. We are at exactly right now, as we speak, 86 viewers. So we're just kind of ramping up here while we do the little pre-game show before we get into the meat and bones of it. Let a few more people gather and collect. And while we're doing that, we'll point out that there are currently 90 people with 43 likes. We're at a 50% like ratio. So the 45 or 46 of you that have not yet hit that like button, you know it's going to be good. That's why you're here. You're here because you like it. So hit that like button. Let's push the likes up. And we are at exactly 22,600 subscribers. And if any of you here that are watching, that are joining us for the first time, that haven't subscribed, I hope that you will do me the great honor of subscribing to my channel and being a regular part of what we've got going here. You only have to be a subscriber for 1 minute before you can add your comments and talk in the chat. We just kind of have to do that to keep a lot of the bots out of here. And hey, a happy, wonderful day to my mods that I see here. I've got a great group of mods. They take care of us. The only two rules: don't say or do anything that's going to get me deplatformed. And the rule number 2 about not just being a dick to guests doesn't apply today because there's no guests. And so that's it. And again, as always, the best way to talk to me, if you have something you want to ask me, something you want to say about what we're talking about, something to say to someone else in the chat that you definitely want me to notice and you definitely want me to read, that would be the super chats. Hit up a super chat. That'll flash bright colors according to whatever the donation is. But at any rate, it comes up with a nice, pretty color that catches my eye and says, hey, there's someone who with priority, someone who's investing in the program and deserves to have whatever they want read. And so that's what we do here. I try to keep a look on the chat occasionally, but it's hard to do watching the documents and reading things and managing all the backstage stuff that you don't see. So again, super chats, that's the way to get my attention. That's the way to get your comments read, your questions answered, etc., etc. Georgina Archer says, no flashing, guys. All right. You may have noticed it in the background. I used to have my my Godzilla poster just to the just to this side of on the wall here. But now that I rehung the partitions in my room, we couldn't see my Godzilla poster. So I put my old 1950s Godzilla poster with Raymond Burr, put that over here on the wall of this room. Let's Be Real says, I'm surprised you haven't been demonetized yet for drinking whiskey. While we're on that subject, you know, if there's ever been someone who needs to sponsor my program, you want to sponsor my program, there's one person I want, there's one company I desperately want to have sponsor my program. It's something I discovered 2 weeks ago. Well, I guess about a week and a half ago while I was on vacation in the States. It's produced by the Yeti Group. Me, I'm kind of a hydro flask guy. I got a few hydro flasks. Never had a Yeti, but how do you not buy the Yeti cocktail glass? As you can see, it's a beautiful little cup, holds a nice big round ball of ice. It's the Yeti cocktail cup, and I couldn't not buy it. I had to buy this thing. This is a total unpaid promotion. Yeti, pay me to promote this shit, because if anybody is going to sell the fuck out of a Yeti cocktail glass, it's me. But the first night I got it, I was like, oh, let's check this out. And it was about 110 degrees. Well, I guess about 106 degrees in Utah the day that I got it. And I put an ice cube in there, a big ice ball in there. And that sumbitch ice ball was still existing 12 hours later. Whereas in a cup, it would just disappear. And right now we're in the hottest part of the Korean summer. So the official Johnny Depp Mega Pint Legal Vices Pimp Cup has kind of been put to the side until the temperature just cools off enough to keep a cocktail or a glass of something at least moderately cold or moderately cool. But this little beast here is awesome. And what do I have in it tonight? You can't see, well, you can maybe see a little bit of the color. I have a gorgeous Negroni in here. If you've never had a Negroni, you need to have a Negroni right now. Equal parts gin, Campari, and red vermouth. Delicious. One of the best, not this nice bitter ginny drink. I love Negronis. Do we have to call them Bingeronis here? I don't know. X Comer ZZZ or ZZZ or Z. Thank you so much, Norwegian Money in the house, for the super sticker. That is awesome. You're kicking off the super night, and it's going to be a super night. Super stickers coming in, super chats hopefully coming in later, so we can talk about what you want to talk about. The Sock Ninja says the Godzilla movies are the best. Yes, the Godzilla movies are the best. All right, we've hit my threshold now. We've got 125 people here. That is time to kick off what we're here for. And what are we here for? We're here to read Mia 4949's. I guess you can't really read this super chat, but thank you so much for the wonderful, wonderful super chat. It's a laughing smiley face. Aimless Poet Boulevardier is her favorite, which is essentially a Negroni with bourbon. It was such a toss-up what I was going to have, and I went with a Negroni. But who knows what tomorrow will bring. Back to the super chat there. All right. We should, well, next Friday is the Fuck It Friday. Fuck It Friday, if you didn't see our first one, is just where we talk about absolutely anything that comes up in chat. I'll have a few pre-planned news items to read, but the whole point of that is just for me to grift my ass off. Drinks for booze, drinks for money, money for drinks, and all that crap. Basically, we're going to do $100 a shot. If anyone's crazy enough to throw $100 at me, I'll do a shot. Or if we get two $50 super chats, then I'll have a cup. I'll have a shot. We did $50 shots last month, and that just about killed me. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll change it. I don't know. That's just what's in my head. We'll probably just stick with the $50 shots. Why not? Because I like to drink. But anyway, we can talk about cocktails then. We can talk about how to taste whiskey. We can talk about cocktails, your favorite cocktails, what you like to do. We can do that next Friday. So stay tuned. Tomorrow is Fair and Balanced is going to be on my channel. We're going to be doing our conspiracy theories. Right now, we've kind of got we've got Bigfoot lined up. We've got some hauntings lined up. There might be some governmental stuff. We're going to talk about the Romanov, the Russian Tsar Nicholas, his family. Farron's got some insight into that. And there's an interesting story that one of you suggested. It's the mystery of the Dyatlov Pass. A group of hikers disappeared in Russia in 1959 without a trace. We'll be talking about some of that. But tonight is more Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. Again, didn't want to get involved in this, didn't want to do it. I thought we were done with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, but we may be done with them. But now we're just we're doing the prequels here. We're doing prequels to the trial. We're looking at the motions, the documents that were released. And as I mentioned yesterday, most of the people out there in internet land are going for Amber Heard's motion in limine. Amber Heard's motion to limit the evidence, motion to exclude evidence. That's great. We'll get there eventually, but I kind of wanted to start out being a little bit different by looking at what Johnny Depp wanted to keep out. I thought that would be more interesting. So today, which we did yesterday, today, and probably again on Tuesday, probably again on Tuesday. Because Tuesday we're going to have Andrea Burkhart. If you don't know who Andrea Burkhart is, you definitely need to be here on Tuesday. Andrea Burkhart is the amazing lawyer who spearheaded the online crowdfunding campaign to raise money to obtain copies of all of these documents that have been unsealed. It was around a little over $3,000, about $3,300, I think. We can get exact figures, but she crowdfunded that, and there was a huge amount left over because everybody donated so generously, and then she gave that to she gave the excess to charity. She got the copies of the documents and released them to everybody. She's allowing people to use them freely. She's an absolute amazing person, and we're going to have her on Tuesday to talk about some of her favorite bits, to talk about the reasons for releasing it, how she feels about access to courts and things. And that's going to be a fun thing. So if you don't know who Andrea Burkhart is, you definitely need to check her out. Go to her channel and come here on Tuesday. She'll be here. But yesterday we did a few motions in limine. I mean, some of them are interesting, like the reasons why Johnny Depp wanted to exclude any mention of the UK trials. We talked about that. We talked about a few other things. There was a few boring things in there, and it kind of got a little bit weary towards the end of the night. But the ones we're going to hit today are pretty damn cool. There's some important stuff here. There's some really, really good things that Johnny Depp wanted to keep out, and really good reasons for keeping them out. He won some, he lost some. So that's what we're going to look at today. I've got a tweet here. Let's see if we get to read this. Okay. Again, you may remember. God, I guess it's been about a little over a month ago. We had a guest on here, Danny On, who is running for Salt Lake County in Utah, Salt Lake County District Attorney this November. She was on here talking about things. A completely wonderful, unbreaded person. She just sent me a tweet liking the Yeti cocktail cups and saying that the Dyatlov Pass still freaks her out. There was a trace, a tongue, and some random parts left over. See, I'm just learning about it because I just saw the email. I just saw the comment not too long ago, so I'm still looking into this. And from what I've seen, it looks pretty fascinating. So Danny, she's fun. We hung out with her for a bit while I was there on vacation, enjoying our legal vices together at one of the greatest bars in Utah. Well, not one of the greatest bar in Utah, which is Lake Effect. We talked conspiracy theories. That was fun. So yeah, the Dyatlov Pass looks like it will definitely be part of our discussion tomorrow if it's already got people liking it. All righty. Today's motions in limine. Let's start here. Let me bring up the window to share. We got to share the screen. Is this us? That is us. All right. Bring that up. Close this down. And see, do we need to increase the size for readability? There we go. That should be good. All right. We're going to kick this off with 161 current viewers. All of you that are here, we've got a good like ratio going. There's only about 60 of you that have not hit that like button. So while I'm getting ready to read this, reach down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Hey, someone flaked out on me here. We're down to 22,599 subscribers. Come on. Those of you that haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let's get us back up to 22,600 plus where we were. Do me that favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and let's get on with the day. Enough of that talk. And we've got, no incoming super chats, so we can, great, someone else just flaked off. You losers, come on. Don't flake off. Subscribe. All right. What we're looking at today, we did the first 7 motions in limine. Now we're doing motion in limine number 8. And what Johnny Depp wants to do here, as we will see, is plaintiff and counterclaim defendant John C. Depp II by counsel hereby moves the court to enter an in limine order precluding defendant and counterclaim plaintiff Amber Laura Heard from referencing or introducing evidence of other litigations involving Mr. Depp. So apparently Amber Heard wanted to bring in references to other lawsuits that Johnny Depp was involved in. Now, why would she want to do that? Well, I think we know, but let's let Ben Chu tell us. He wants to Mr. Depp's prior lawsuits are completely irrelevant to the case at hand, have limited or no probative value, would be highly unfairly prejudicial, and constitute an improper attempt to use character evidence. So the background of these issues, this gives a listing of the litigation he has been involved in or was currently involved in at the time the motions were filed. All right. I did that again. God, I was doing that all night last night. Ms. Heard has sought extensive discovery throughout the course of this proceeding relating to other litigations involving Mr. Depp, both in her document requests as well as by deposing many of the key parties of the lawsuits. Those litigations include, now here's the list of things that Johnny Depp has been involved in legally. John C. Depp and Edward L. White versus the Mandel Company et al., which just means and others. In the Superior Court of the State of California, this case involved allegations by Mr. Depp against his former managers of 17 years for negligence, breach of fiduciary duty, and other claims, stemming in part from the manager spending millions of dollars without his permission. The case was fiercely litigated and involved complex legal and factual disputes related to the management of Mr. Depp's finances over a period of nearly 2 decades, as well as complicated alleged ethical violations by Mr. Depp's business manager. Now, you'll remember the video. It's the famous video. It's probably the most famous video from the trial, where Johnny Depp was assaulting cabinets. That's where he had his mega pint glass filling it full of wine, and Amber Heard was secretly trying to record him. He was having a bad day, slamming the cabinets, and he's saying, yeah, nothing happened to you this morning, did it? Nothing happened to you. Well, something fucking happened to me. And he was distraught and freaking out and raging and throwing the phone. That was the day. Apparently, he had just found out moments before she recorded that video that his previous managers had stolen and embezzled the money from him. And at that point in time, it was believed to be approximately $650 million. So yeah, this is apparently the legal action that was surrounding that incident. So yeah, that would suck. And Johnny Depp et al. V. Bloom, Herget, Dimer, Rosenthal, blah, 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 and a bunch of other people. This case involves allegations by Mr. Depp against his former entertainment attorneys of 17 years for breach of fiduciary duty, malpractice, violation. This is a continuation of the other one, I believe. And among other things, Mr. Depp argued that the handshake contingency fee contract, pursuant to which Mr. Bloom collected more than $30 million in fees, was invalid under California law. The court agreed, granting Mr. Depp's motion for judgment on the pleadings, but the issues in that case were quite extensive and related to the totality of Bloom Hergot's representation of Mr. Depp. All right. There was also the lawsuit of Greg Rocky Brooks versus Johnny Depp. This one just resolved a few weeks ago. This case involves Mr. Brooks, allegations by Mr. Brooks that Mr. Depp punched him in the ribs while on the set of the film Labyrinth. Mr. Brooks does not claim to have suffered any actual injuries, and Mr. Depp vehemently denies his claims, which are also refuted by other eyewitnesses. This was just settled a couple of weeks ago. Terms undisclosed, but to the end, Johnny Depp denied any liability for that, and in fact said that he was confronting the guy apparently because he was demeaning a homeless person on set or a poor person on set. That's a good Negroni. And the final legal issue, Eugene Areola. That's an unfortunate name for Eugene. Eugene Areola and Miguel Sanchez versus Johnny Depp. This case involved a claim by two of Mr. Depp's former bodyguards who brought suit alleging that Mr. Depp and others failed to comply with various provisions of the California Labor Code by failing to pay overtime, provide meals and rest breaks, provide accurate wage statements, and provide wages upon termination. They also alleged wrongful termination, unlawful business practices. The case settled. So he's got two big bad bodyguards whining that they weren't provided meals and rest breaks. So anyway, these are all litigation that was ongoing or had been wrapped up by the time this was here. And Amber Heard wants them in. So Ms. Heard anticipates references to other litigations should be Ms. Heard's anticipated references to the other litigation should be excluded from trial. First, Mr. Depp's prior litigations are not relevant to this litigation. First, the other litigations are totally irrelevant to the claims and issues in the present action and should be excluded on that basis alone. Indeed, it's obvious that evidence of a party's prior lawsuits will generally be irrelevant and inadmissible, since that has no reasonable tendency to make a material fact more or less likely to be true. In other words, the fact that he has four other lawsuits, just because he's involved in 4 other lawsuits doesn't mean that he abused her. That's the inference that she is allegedly trying to make here. That, he's involved in so many different lawsuits because he's a piece of shit. If he was a nice guy, he wouldn't have these people suing him. He wouldn't have to be suing other people. So that's the inference that she's apparently trying to make. The present defamation action involves allegations of abuse between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard. That is the core of the case, not malfeasance by Mr. Depp's business managers or former attorneys, not California labor law violations, not an alleged incident on a movie set after Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard were already divorced. Nothing about those former lawsuits is at issue in this action. Ms. Heard may attempt to argue that news coverage of other of Mr. Depp's litigation could have been damaging to his reputation and goes to damages, but that argument is a red herring. Ms. Heard has accused Mr. Depp of being a wife beater. That is an allegation of a wholly different kind than an allegation that were made by any of the other parties of the other litigation. Suing one's former business manager or attorneys for malpractice is completely a different type of litigation and generates completely different types of publicity. Ms. Heard should not be allowed to turn this trial into a circus by exploring the other litigations. She should be required to keep her focus squarely on the narrow issues in this case. Well, that sounds pretty damn reasonable, doesn't it? Evidence of other litigation is more prejudicial than probative. And this is an argument that we see in nearly every single one of these motions in limine, these motions to limit the evidence, is that if they're let in, there's going to be much more prejudice towards Johnny Depp than there will be any meaningful probative factual value. That's essentially how this argument wraps up. So to present evidence to the jury regarding such other cases would turn this trial into a case within a case within a case, as Mr. Depp would need to prove contrary evidence of the meritorious nature of his claims. The other litigation should be included as improper character evidence. That's an interesting argument there. References to the Brooks case in particular would also be highly prejudicial as improper character evidence. Brooks was the one where Johnny Depp allegedly punched him in the ribs. The case involves allegations that Mr. Depp punched a film production member, an allegation Mr. Depp strongly denies, and which will be disproven at trial. Evidence of that unproven and contradicted allegation would nonetheless have a tendency to sway the jury and unfairly prejudice Mr. Depp by suggesting to the jury that he's somehow of a violent nature. See, this is a very important thing here. They want to bring in this lawsuit that this other guy made against him for allegedly punching him in the ribs and saying, look, he's already being sued by another dude for punching this other dude in the ribs. Clearly he's a violent man. And now I'm saying that he is abusing me. And see, you can prove that he's abusing me because he's violent, because he's already being sued by someone else for being violent and abusing them. And Team Depp is saying, no, that's improper. That's still ongoing. Now it's been settled. But at the time it was ongoing and nothing's been proven. And even if it is there, the fact that they're doing this lawsuit has nothing to do with the current lawsuit, and punching, allegedly or not, punching someone in the ribs has nothing to do with whether or not he abused Amber Heard. So great. And the conclusion then is that the court should grant and enter an in limine order precluding Ms. Heard from seeking to distract and confuse the jury by turning the case into a trial within a trial. That's the first motion in limine today. There's some fun ones today. The ones we're going to get to today are all pretty solid. So while you're here, do the right thing, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll keep on moving here. Again, just kind of after each motion in limine, we need to kind of shake it off a bit and ouch, that hurt, and relax a bit and check up on the chats. The chat seems to be having fun as usual tonight. Love my chat. I think I have one of the best chats on the internet, and you all think the same thing too. Let's see. We got to. I just had to take care of another tweet there, but here we go. We got a super sticker. Hey, Williams family, thank you so much for that super sticker. That is much appreciated. Great stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All super stickers, all super likes are greatly appreciated, as are all super chats. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We're still hovering right around that $5.99 level. We got up above 600. Let's get back up there again. 204 of you here, 162 likes. So don't forget to head right over wherever the like button is, somewhere down there. Just hit that like button and let YouTube know we're here. And again, after you leave, come back and leave a comment on the video. That goes to the engagement analytic and tells YouTube that, hey, you're engaging with me even when I'm not live. So therefore, this person must be interesting, whether I am or not. And that puts us up in the rankings and gets us recommendations and other things. And tell your friends about this channel. Come bring your friends on. We'll have some fun. Let me take another drink of my wonderful Negroni in the Yeti cocktail cup. Yeti, sponsor me. T for Laos says, why is Legal Vice still sober? This goes against his brand. I'm still kind of, like I said, I'm still jet lagged from the 2 weeks. I don't get this like complete sleep all day and stay awake all night jet lag. I try to kind of avoid that by kind of existing between time zones when I'm traveling. So right about now, I usually stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, but I was dead asleep at 8 o'clock, then I could stay up to about 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And as the week's gone on, now I can pretty much get up to about 1 o'clock. I'm almost there, but I get a little bit loopy. And then just when I'm tired and grumpy, alcohol affects that a bit. So weekend's coming. Tomorrow's Friday. We're going to get lit with Fair and Balanced. Stephen Cooper, thank you so much for the super chat. Love the content. And remember to stay hydrated. I always stay hydrated. You do understand that whiskey and other things, and in this case, gin and vermouth and Campari are mostly water. So therefore, I am staying hydrated. I think that's how that works, isn't it? Elaine sucks in court. Dwayne Mansell, thank you for that enlightening comment. Ask Mr. Brederhoff. She probably sucks in the bedroom too. I'm sorry to put that image into your head. I should be ashamed of myself. All righty. Okay, Lady Autumn's. No, it's not fucking Friday with Farron. Farron is tomorrow, and then fucking Friday is the next Friday. So 2 Fridays in a row. Farron wants to come in on fucking Friday. Everybody's welcome on fucking Friday. But it's not going to happen simultaneously tomorrow. F Friday is next week. The 12th, I think it is. Yeah, Friday the 12th. Ooh, almost as spooky as Friday the 13th. All right. Motion in limine number 9. Okay, some of you are doing your job and hitting that like button. Still, some of you. It's Puppy Dog Duralon. Hey, it's a super chat day. When do the doggos make an appearance? The doggos will probably make another floor appearance back here when the weather cools down. This room is just super, super hot. The air conditioner doesn't reach this far in the house. I've got me my trusty little fan here, but when you get 2 of these 50-pound bulldogs sleeping on the floor in this hot weather, all the microphone would hear would be, and it would be ridiculously extract. Now, I shouldn't have done that on camera. Anyway, yeah, when it gets a little bit cooler, the dogs will probably be back in this room. Oh, shit. All right. Thank you so much for that super chat. Let's get back into the next motion in limine. Let's move us on over here. Vicky T says, and you're not naked. I'm wearing at least a shirt. At very least a shirt. All right. Hearing the dog snore is awesome. It's like ASMR. It's just really super loud when you're me. All right. Johnny Depp's motion in limine number 9. All right. I got to take off the watch. Oh, again, it's the other thing we do, watch check. People always ask about the watches. So today we're going basic. We went to the ball game. Lotte's colors, Lotte Giants are blue. Had my blue uniform on today. So today we rocked the God tier dark blue Cassie Oak. It's called because nobody cares why it's called the Cassie Oak, but it's the Cassie Oak G-Shock God tier watch there. All right, that's off. Now my wrist doesn't have to sweat anymore. And here we go. Again, for like the 3rd time, I've said, here we go. I'm not going to boomer. I just about boomered. I just about started reading without bringing up the page. All right. To exclude references to Mr. Depp's spending habits and loan. Matthew Giannotti says, I like that. Do they have dark green? Casio G-Shocks have a ton of colors. They have every color watch you could imagine. All right. Just reading. Oh, There we go. Kitty cat. I just about missed that. See, I knew my spider sense was tingling, and that's why I was like staring blankly at the screen. Yeah, I was trying to process that I had seen a flash of color. Morning, Jeff, says Kitty cat. Thank you so much for the comment and emojis there. That's deeply appreciated. And Flux is coming in as well. I can't press any more buttons. Does it count if I unlike and then relike? No, it just annoys me when I watch my the unlike. Okay. Yeah, no, it just it deletes one and then adds another one. Right. Oh. Out. On. Boom. Plaintiff. So this was what they wanted to keep out. Again, remember, because my ADHD rambles me off and I am very easily distracted. He wants to exclude references to Mr. Depp's spending habits and loans. So Amber Heard wants to introduce references to his spending habits and loans. So we want to find out what loans and spending habits Johnny Depp has, such that they should be excluded. So here we go. And as we jump into this, Lissam, thank you so much for that generous super chat. Glad to catch your love today. Hey, you can catch my love anytime. I don't know if you meant to say glad to catch you live today, but I like the fact you said catch my love today. Yeah, there you go. See, live but love works. See, I like it better that you were glad to catch my love today. The Williams family is back in. I feel bad to say things like that right before I read a super chat from a family. Bulldogs are awesome, but it could be worse. My 2 Redbone Coonhounds were just skunked in the face like me yesterday morning at 4:30 a.m. Oh God, I had a dog get skunked once. Man, that good luck with that. That smell ain't gonna go away for a very, very long time. You should have saved that $5 super chat and invested it in like tomato sauce. Tomato sauce is good for getting out skunks. Well, for slightly dampening the effect of skunk spray, but yeah, it's going to be there for a while. Ugh, sorry to hear that. That sucks. Ugh. Now I swear to God, we're going to start this motion in limine right now. Any other super chats that come in will be read at the end of this motion in limine. So here we go. Plaintiff and counterclaimant, defendant, okay, blah, blah, blah. Want to preclude counterclaim from introducing evidence of Mr. Depp's spending habits, loans, and states as follows. Mr. Heard has sought, God damn it, why do I keep saying Mr. Heard? I think because I keep seeing her with women all the time, and I don't know. It's just in my head that she's probably the dominant masculine role in a relationship. Don't know what that has to do with anything, but just a random thought off the top of my head. Ms. Heard has sought extensive discovery into Mr. Depp's finances, spending habits, and loans. For example, Ms. Heard recently deposed Mr. Depp's former manager in this case on January 26, 2022. In that deposition, she examined aspects of a cross-complaint filed by Mr. Mandel's company against Mr. Depp, which alleged that Depp lived an ultra-extravagant lifestyle that often knowingly cost Depp in excess of $2 million a month to maintain. B, Mr. Depp spent in excess of $75 million to acquire, improve, and furnish 14 residences. Okay, so he's into property improvement. He's into property investments. Ooh, all right, that sounds damning. C, Mr. Depp spent over $18 million to acquire and renovate a 150-foot luxury yacht. He spent $30,000, and I remember this from back in the day. He spent $30,000 per month on expensive wines, which he had flown to him around the world. God bless you if you can have $30,000 bottles of wine, $30,000 of wine per month. But if you're drinking something super exclusive like Cristal or something that it goes for $1,000+ a bottle, that's 30 bottles a month. That's not too bad, actually. It's just what you want to spend your money on. This is my favorite one. Depp paid over $3 million to blast from a specially made cannon the ashes of author Hunter Thompson. I remember when that happened as well. I remember watching that. But yeah, spending $3 million on a specially made cannon to blast the ashes of Hunter Thompson, that may be deemed as a little bit extravagant and just a little fuck you, poor people thing to do. But and Depp also spent wildly on expensive collectibles. Well, shit, if that's a crime, I'm doomed. Because I spend ridiculous amounts of money on ridiculous things. As some of you may have seen in one of my videos where you caught a glimpse of my Dark Souls figure collection. Depp's constant use of private planes amounted to an additional $200,000 a month in expenses. Diamonds and Hints said shot into space. No, just blasted him in a backyard. Just put him in a cannon and blasted him into the air. Right. So they want to introduce all of this. Why do they want to introduce all this? The list of this type of pointless financial discovery goes on and on and on. Ms. Heard also asked about loans that Mr. Depp purportedly received to avert this crisis caused by Mr. Depp's spending. All these are included in Ms. Heard's deposition designations, signaling that she plans to use them at trial. This type of evidence should unquestionably be excluded. Evidence of Mr. Depp's spending habits or any loans he received is totally irrelevant to this case. Whether or not Mr. Depp lived an extravagant lifestyle has no reasonable tendency to make any material fact more or less likely in the jury's assessment of the allegations in this case that Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard. So briefly, that sentence is just whether or not Mr. Depp lived an ultra extravagant lifestyle does not prove whether or not he abused Ms. Heard. Conversely, such evidence is potentially extremely prejudicial, and the danger of unfair prejudice substantially outweighs any non-existent probative value. So again, it would just be prejudicial to talk about how much money he spends. This is a clear attempt by Ms. Heard to introduce evidence that has a high likelihood of turning the jury against Mr. Depp for reasons that are totally unrelated to the merits of the case. And this just about worked in both of their cases, because there was a lot of talk, if you'll recall, by the end of this trial, like, why are we sitting here listening to super rich people complain about each other? That was a thing that was out there quite a bit, is we're just listening to millionaires bitch at each other, big millionaire babies. So that almost turned people against both of them. But we didn't hear much about this extravagant lifestyle. Mr. Depp is not seeking to exclude with this motion all evidence that establishes his overall income, which is the only aspect of Mr. Depp's finances that is relevant to this case, as it speaks to damages. So yeah, it doesn't matter what he spends, it matters how much he makes, because how much he makes will we'll be able to use that to show you how much he's lost in damages because of what she's said. But the evidence of his spending habits is both irrelevant and highly unfair and highly unfairly prejudicial. For these reasons, all references, testimony, and evidence relating to Mr. Depp's spending habits and loans should be excluded. All right, that's the end of motion in limine number 9. And we'll get on to number 10 here in a second. Bring me back up. So, yeah, again, these are kind of getting to be more interesting because they're dealing with real life situations. They're dealing with things that we've kind of asked. And now we're going to get into some shitty stuff, like just some dirty, nasty Amber Heard bullshittery, which kind of sucks. Yeah. Well, Jillian, you kind of hit it on the nose here. Just even more like the evidence of how incredibly vindictive she is. This has nothing to do with either defamation claim. Yeah, that's one thing that it's one strategy that lawyers use. You just throw every single assertion there. You try to prejudice the jury against the opponent. You try to make them look bad. Anything you can to do that, you throw it out there, and you force the other side to fight to keep it out. Righty. Uh-oh. Chris Dahl says, doggone it, I'm late starting from the beginning. Don't start from the beginning, but you're not hearing this because you're starting from the beginning. If you're still here, start now. You can go back and hear the two other motions in limine at the end. Join us loud. Now, okay, you're late. Andrew's birthday stream just ended. Yeah, it is Andrew's birthday 19 minutes ago. As a matter of fact, let me shoot him let me shoot him a message here. I'm going to send Andrew over at Legal Mindset a message saying, happy birthday and join me if you want. Andrew, where are you? There you are. Happy birthday, Andrew. Come and join the stream if you are so inclined. And let's see, there's the invite button. Clip the invite. Boom, boom, boom. Man, I wonder what it's like to have a producer that would do all of this stuff for you. Someday, maybe I'll be that goddamn rich and famous that I'll be able to pay people to do stuff for me. All right. That is the note and invite is sent. All right, done deal. All right, back to our little discussion here. Thank you for reminding me that it is, in fact, Andrew's birthday here in Korea as of 19 minutes ago. Hopefully he is having fun with somebody. All right. Rock on. Here we go. We don't have any super chats that are up here to read. That's good. So while I'm bringing this up, if you haven't already taken the opportunity to do so, hit that like button, hit the notification button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Oh, he said, thanks, but about to die. Okay, people, I'm going to lie here. People were calling for you. I said I would try. All right. Chris Dahl says, hey, Legal Vices from a Farron mod. Hey. All right. We're going to bring this back up. We're going to bring up the next motion in limine, which is right here. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I can't scroll because my screen is covered. There we go. All righty. Certificate of service, we don't need to read. Here we go. This is a fun one. This is one we're gonna read the whole thing. This is all right. I'm just gonna say one thing real quick here. Kim says, Matthew, look up Mark Fogel, another U.S. citizen locked up in Russia for bringing in pot. He taught children of U.S. officials. Do not bring fucking illegal shit into other countries. You're stupid. You're ignorant. You're a dumbass. And if you get caught, don't come whining and bitching to your local embassy because they can't help you. Embassies are diplomatic missions. Their job is to make sure that you are treated no worse than locals when you break the damn laws. If you go to another country and you do shit like this, do not expect leniency. Do not expect the government to ride in on you with the cavalry and rescue your dumbass. Don't do stupid shit in foreign countries. Damn, I used to hate when we would deal with cases like that. People just doing stupid crap. Well, bringing in weed isn't a big deal in Canada. Well, you're not in Canada. Sorry. Here in Korea, drugs are drugs are drugs. And you're going down just as much for pot as you would for crack cocaine or meth. So yeah, whatever is illegal in that country, don't do it. I tell people all the time, if you can't not do weed for 1, 2, 6 months or a year, however long you're going to be here, don't come, because it's not worth it. You're going to do something stupid. You're going to try to smuggle it in somehow. You're going to get caught, and then you're going to be in deep shit. You get what's coming to you when you do dumb stuff like that. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. The motion in limine number 10, to exclude all references to and evidence regarding Marilyn Manson. I bet we all know where this one is going. This is the, Johnny Depp is best friends with that scary, evil, gross dirtbag Marilyn Manson. Therefore, he beats Amber Heard. Yep. I'm sure that I know that's where it's going, because, hey, all right, again, Matthew G. Now he's saying it's not mother effing weed. It's all illegal here in Korea. Any marijuana or marijuana extract product, whatever, is all illegal. So it sounds very much like it's the same in Russia. It happens so much. People think what goes on back home can go on in other countries. Not true. It sucks, but them's the laws, and you know it, and you take the risks. Yep. Okay. Let's see what Amber's going to try to do with big, bad, scary Marilyn Manson. Ooh, they're tied together. They must be evil. All right. Introduction. Ms. Heard's approach to this trial reflects a blatant intention to smear Mr. Depp under a guilt by association theory. Called it. Implying that Mr. Depp had a friendship with Marilyn Manson, who is the subject of very public allegations of abuse that are regularly making headlines. For instance, Ms. Heard's discovery responses shamelessly imply that Mr. Depp was somehow influenced to abuse her by Marilyn Manson. There's no reason for Ms. Heard to lob such ridiculous allegations into the case, except to smear Mr. Depp by association, under the apparent theory that being acquainted with Marilyn Manson makes it likelier that the jury will accept her false allegations that Mr. Depp is an abuser. Ben Chu just goes straight for the jugular. I like his arguments. But there is no allegation that Mr. Manson has any knowledge of or was involved in any abuse. Ms. Heard's attempt to insert Marilyn Manson into this case lacks foundation and is wholly speculative and constitutes improper character evidence. Moreover, the non-existent relevance of such evidence is clearly outweighed by its prejudicial impact. The court should enter an in limine order precluding Ms. Heard from making any reference to Marilyn Manson. Here's the argument. Ms. Heard's attempt to insert Marilyn Manson in this case is indefensible. First, to the extent that evidence of such an acquaintance between Mr. Depp and Marilyn Manson is offered to suggest that Mr. Depp was somehow inspired or otherwise influenced by Mr. Manson to commit abuse is both preposterous and entirely lacking in foundation. Such nonsensical speculation has an obvious tendency to confuse the jury and lacks any valid basis. Second, Ms. Heard's transparent attempt to smear Depp with an association with Mr. Manson is substantially more prejudicial than it is probative. Again, it's that even if you let it in, it's going to be more prejudicial than helpful. The probative value is non-existent. How does Mr. Depp's acquaintance with Marilyn Manson make it likelier that Mr. Depp committed abuse? But given the highly negative press coverage and allegations of serious abuse made against Mr. Manson, the prejudicial effect of presenting evidence of such an acquaintance to the jury could well be enormous. Ms. Heard's intention is no doubt to raise in the jury's mind, or perhaps even to explicitly argue, that birds of a feather flock together, and that if Mr. Manson is accused of abuse, it makes it likelier that Mr. Depp committed abuse as well. The seriously prejudicial nature of such evidence is clear and substantially outweighs by the danger of unfair prejudice to Mr. Depp and the likelihood that it will mislead the jury. The guilt by association thing. Third, Mr. Heard's Ms. Heard's anticipated evidence amounts to nothing more than an attempt to insert improper character evidence about Mr. Depp by arguing that his alleged affiliation with Mr. Manson somehow reflects on his character and makes him likelier to be an abuser. Again, this utterly useless nature of this anticipated evidence to be offered by Ms. Heard is clear and warrants exclusion. Therefore, please exclude it. Well, they got to mention some things about Marilyn Manson through the trial, because Elaine brought up Marilyn Manson as absolutely often as she could, and of course that was the reference. I mean, when she's saying, you know Marilyn Manson, right? Or he knows Marilyn Manson, right? He hangs out with Marilyn Manson, right? People think Marilyn Manson's a scary person. Some do. That is, again, where I think Elaine and Team Amber made a huge tactical error. They argued a lot of their arguments, and they tried to introduce a lot of their evidence in the way they would if the jury was a bunch of 60, 70-year-old, blue hairs. They had a very young jury, people in their 20s and 30s, which is exactly the demographic for Marilyn Manson people. And even if they're not Marilyn Manson fans, they've grown up knowing who Marilyn Manson is. Marilyn Manson isn't scary to a 25 or 35-year-old. So to have all these negative influences, he knew Marilyn Manson. The jurors were probably like, cool, Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson are friends? That's awesome. I think that was a huge miscalculation on Elaine's part to try to bring up Scary Mary Lynn. See what I did there? And this Yeti cocktail cup is kind of big, so I like that. It exactly fits like a 1.5 Negroni. Well, more if I used a smaller ice cube, but hey, yeah. All righty. Moving on down to the next one. We have no reason to stop. This train is in motion. Okay, this is a shitty one. This is shitty. I mean, not the motion. It's not the motion to exclude, but the Team Amber wanting to get this evidence in. This was a shitty thing for Elaine and her team to do. I'm totally speechless by this shit. This is just a shitty, greasy, sleazy, scuzzy, filthy, dirty, flappy fish market stepped on a bee fucking shit to do. Let's read this. We even have a little bit of a court transcript to read for this one. Many of you, if not most of you, may have already heard this argument. May have already heard some of the allegations dealing with this thing. While we bring it up, hit that like button, and let's move on to the motion to exclude deposition testimony of Jacob Bloom. ADHD on alert here. Debbie Moncrief, shitty bang bang. When I was on the airplane from Seoul, Korea to San Francisco, California, my in-flight entertainment I chose was Chitty Bang Bang. I haven't seen that since I was a kid, and so I watched that on the flight. So hey, there's some telepathy going there, Debbie Moncrief. Shitty, shitty, bang, bang. Shitty, shitty, bang, 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 bang. Da-da-da-da-da. My fine four-fendered friend. Anyway. There you go. I did watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang on the plane because that's how I fucking roll. You're not hardcore unless you watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. All right. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get back on track with the shitty bang bang elimination motion in limine. So what I was going to do is I saw someone asked, who is Jacob Bloom? And while I was going to click on that, I saw Debbie's shitty bang bang thing. And that got me. I can't find that comment anymore. Follow away says what the hell just happened? Yeah. Right. Okay. Oh, God dang it. We're never going to get to the this motion if you guys keep this shit up. Bed knobs and broomsticks, baby. I used to say that damn chant they would use to bring things to life. They had like the soldiers, the Triguna, McCoides, Tricorum Satis D. They would like chant that over and over again. Yeah, bed knobs and broomsticks was awesome too. Triguna, McCoides, Tricorum Satis D. Yep, that was me. All right, Turtle Dove. Now you got us off. God dang it. I'm not going to look at chat anymore. I'm going to go straight into this because we have to figure out who Jason Bloom. I said Jason Bourne. Jacob Bloom. Jacob Bloom is a former lawyer of Johnny Depp. Jacob Bloom is an ancient lawyer formerly representing Johnny Depp. Jacob Bloom has Alzheimer's. He has dementia. And they were in Team Amber was deposing this guy. Fuck them. Seriously, what a shitty bang bang thing to do. Not looking at the chat. People are talking about Excalibur. Plaintiff and counterplaintiff, Johnny Depp to by counsel, blah, blah, blah. Moves this court to exclude the deposition testimony of Jacob Bloom. Ms. Heard's counsel has conducted. This is just evil. This really triggered me when I first heard about this. Dang it. Just what a horrible human being Elaine Brederhoft is. Ms. Heard's counsel has conducted discovery in an abusive manner and should be precluded from introducing certain utterly irrelevant and harassing evidence at discovery. I mean, that says it all right there. Ms. Heard's counsel deposed Mr. Depp's former attorney of 17 years, Jacob Bloom, who was elderly and appeared not to be able to remember anything of significance. Bafflingly, even though Mr. Bloom's testimony was essentially a string of responses to the effect of "I don't know," Ms. Heard's counsel has designated his deposition testimony for trial. But Mr. Bloom's responses establish, 1, that he has nothing relevant to say, 2, that he lacks competence to provide testimony on the issues involved, and 3, the blatantly harassing conduct of Ms. Heard in this action. The deposition testimony should be excluded. At the outset, the transcript makes clear that Mr. Bloom lacked the ability at his deposition to testify in a competent manner, to recollect or communicate events, or to provide. Sorry, do one little click here. All right. Or provide substantive answers to questions asked of him. The parties were well aware that Mr. Bloom had been diagnosed with dementia. She knew before she deposed him that he had dementia. She purposely forced an old man with dementia to sit through a deposition. I say it again. Fuck you, Team Amber Heard. That is despicable and disgusting. They knew he had dementia and they put him through a deposition. Nevertheless, Ms. Heard, Ms. Heard insisted on taking Mr. Bloom's deposition to discuss events that were beyond Mr. Bloom's capacity to recall. It is clear from Mr. Bloom's testimony that he was unable to recall many of the questions posed to him. In fact, throughout the deposition, Mr. Bloom had the assistance of his attorney to guide him in understanding the question and provide an intelligent response. Throughout the deposition, Ms. Heard's counsel harassed Mr. Bloom with the same question repeatedly in attempts to deceive Mr. Bloom. Well, congratulations. Congratulations for trying to confuse an old man with dementia. Great. Now go out and win a game of tackle football against 3-year-olds. Question. When did you first meet Mr. Depp? A. I don't know when. I can't remember. Question. Does that help refresh your recollection of when you began representation of Mr. Depp? Answer, no, it doesn't. It doesn't recall. I don't recall. And I say it strongly to you, I don't recall the particular cause of action, etc. Do you recall beginning representing Mr. Depp in 1999? Mr. Chu, objection, asked and answered, I don't recall, several times. I'm sorry, what is your answer, Mr. Bloom? I don't know. It's all confusing to me. They're doing this shit to an old man with dementia. Moreover, the substance of Mr. Bloom's deposition sought testimony regarding Mr. Depp's previous litigations, which are completely immaterial to this action. Even if that were not the case, Mr. Bloom did not recall much of the work he did for Mr. Depp many years ago. Ms. Heard should be precluded from exploiting Mr. Bloom further at trial, where he does not have any knowledge of her allegations against Mr. Depp, which is the only pertinent issue in this case. For the foregoing reasons, plaintiff respectfully requests this court grant its motion in limine to exclude Mr. Bloom's deposition testimony in its entirety. I'm assuming they won because we did not see the testimony during the trial. Now, here's the transcript of some of that deposition. Here's the transcript of some of the shit they put this old man through. Q, what was your specialty while you were practicing law? A, I was an entertainment lawyer. And was that in Los Angeles, California? Yes. And can you please describe examples of clients that you had over the years in the entertainment industry? And we're going to label this confidential so that it is under seal. Mr. Singer said, I'm going to object. It's immaterial to who Mr. Bloom's clients are. He represented Mr. Depp. He's represented many other people in the industry. Let's just get into the issues that relate to this case. Question. When did you first meet Mr. Depp? I don't know when. I don't remember. You performed services for Mr. Depp over a period of time. Is that correct? Yeah. Mr. Chu butts in. And Mr. Bloom, obviously, that's fine to answer in a generic way. I'm going to be instructing you on behalf of your cross-complaint against Mr. Depp. Okay, we skipped a bunch here. Something about a cross-complaint against Mr. Depp. No, I don't remember. Okay, I'm going to ask you to turn to paragraph 10. And remember, this guy has dementia, and apparently really bad dementia at this point. I'm going to ask you to turn to paragraph 10, and it says there, beginning in 1999, Bloom Burkhart or its predecessors provided entertainment-related legal services to cross-defendants. Does that help refresh your recollection of when you began representation of Mr. Depp? No, it doesn't. I don't recall. I don't recall. And I say it strongly to you. I don't recall the particular cause of action, etc. Do you recall beginning representing Mr. Depp in 1999? Objection, asked and answered several times. I don't recall. I'm sorry, what was your answer, Mr. Bloom? I don't know. It's all confusing to me. And the fuckers keep going. No, you also alleged in paragraph 11. No. Okay, we skipped another 10 pages. No. Do you have any knowledge of any domestic violence by Mr. Depp against Ms. Heard? Objection. No. Argumentative and leading, says Mr. Chu. Assumes facts contrary to the record. The witness. No. Question. Do you have any knowledge of any allegations by Mr. Depp of domestic abuse by Ms. Heard? No. Now it says further along, kindly let me know at your earliest convenience if you and your client are agreeable to doing so, as well as which judicial officers are acceptable. Upon hearing from you, I will have my assistants obtain rates and availabilities, and it's in the context of proposing private retired judicial officers. Do you have a recollection of responding to this and indicating whether you had any objection to the judicial officers or someone? And it cuts off there. That is disgusting to me. That is despicable and disgusting that they would drag an old man onto the stand who has dementia and press him with questions over and over and over and over again. All right. I don't understand. I don't understand why you would do that to somebody. I don't understand what you would hope to get out of putting someone like that on the stand and just questioning and questioning and questioning and questioning them. Does that make you feel big? Does that make you feel great? All right. We did have one super chat to get through here. Josephine de Rossier says, thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. It is greatly appreciated. Amber Heard's team had the moral fortitude of the cast of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Great movie while we're talking about movies. Look for the W. I like Amber's legal team less today than I did yesterday, and I didn't like them a lot yesterday. All right. This next one we can kind of breeze through. It's not really that big of a deal. David McNine, thank you so much for the super chat. Where did you get your hat? This baseball hat is the official hat for the Busan, Korea baseball team, the Lotte Giants. They're the local baseball team here in town, and I got it from their gift shop. So it's my hat I wear to the baseball games. Got it right here in Korea. Thank you so much for the question. You can order them online by going to, what's their website? Giants Club or something like that. Just type in Lotte Giants, Lotte Giants. Kitty Cat, meow. You got another super chat coming in here. My 9-month-old, 75-pound Dobie Bjorn melts in the heat. He's just a spoiled puppy. Well, I'm glad your dogs melt in the heat. My dogs die in the heat. Heat is probably the number one non-natural cause killer of bulldogs, and drowning probably comes a close second. They don't swim well. All right. This is the motion in limine to exclude expert testimony of Adam Berkovici. We talked about him a little bit yesterday. His job, he was going to come in and testify that the police, the two sets of police that responded to the 911 calls from who was it, Amber and Io, that they did not follow proper procedures. And the gist of the objection, the previous objection to the information that they obtained, was that the police are they're eyewitnesses to exactly what was going on at the time they arrived. They're eyewitnesses to whether or not there was any visible signs of abuse on Amber Heard. And whether or not they followed procedures, that doesn't affect whether or not they saw as a witness any damages. Yeah, so we can kind of breeze through this because it's kind of redundant for some of the things we talked about yesterday. Mr. Berkovici intends to testify that these two sets of LAPD officers failed to follow correct policies, procedures, and best practices in their response to the call that night. However, whether these LAPD officers followed the correct policies and procedures is wholly irrelevant to this case. The officers were not parties to this action, and this action is not a trial against the LAPD. Perhaps even more egregiously, in what appears to have become a pattern for Ms. Heard attempts to offer testimony that certain conduct has occurred. Namely, that Mr. Depp allegedly physically abused Ms. Heard. Mr. Berkovici opines that the property damage and domestic violence occurred on May 21st. So this guy that wasn't even there gives his opinion that property damage and domestic violence occurred based on cherry-picking evidence that unilaterally supports Ms. Heard's position while ignoring contradictory evidence in the record. Mr. Berkovici has no valid basis whatsoever to render such opinions. That's a pretty solid statement. I kind of tend to agree with it. If you're not there and you're not looking at evidence from both sides, you probably don't have a valid opinion as far as I'm concerned. And we'll see that with a couple of these other motions in limine where they make basically the same arguments that you're being way too prejudicial and you weren't there and you didn't do your job. So don't talk about someone else doing their job. All right. Again, irrelevant, lacks foundation, invades the province of the jury. Again, the value, the positive value, the probative value is outweighed by the prejudice it would cause. And then they make the big argument here that we made yesterday and talked about, that whether or not the LAPD followed policy and procedures irrelevant to the issue of whether or not they suffered abuse at the hands of Johnny Depp. They being Amber Heard. The only relevance of the LAPD officers to this case is as a precipient fact witness. Their testimony as fact witnesses requires no expertise that warrants expert testimony, and the issue of whether they followed the correct procedure is not at issue in this case, nor does it relate to any claims in this case. Accordingly, Mr. Berkovici's opinion should be excluded as irrelevant. And again, the probative value, the positive value of the evidence is outweighed by prejudice. And it's up to the jury to decide, is the basic gist of this part of the argument. While expert testimony cannot be excluded on the grounds that it invades the jury's decision-making role unless on ultimate issues, we don't need to worry about this. Basically, the jury will conclude whether or not it happened. Mr. Berkovici intends to offer testimony that, based on photos and evidence in the record, that the first set of officers had probable cause to conclude that a domestic violence crime had been perpetrated upon Ms. Heard on May 21, 2016. So again, what they're saying is that this expert is going to come in and say, I'm looking at these photos, and based on these photos, I think she was abused. But what Team Depp is saying, what Ben Chu is saying, is that's the jury's job. It's the jury's job to look at those photos and decide whether or not she was the victim of a domestic violence crime, not the expert. The expert isn't needed. That's something that's for the jury to do. That's for the jury to decide. They argue that Officer Sines and Hayden ignored evidence and failed to reasonably determine. I like this wording here too. Her side is calling these two officers into question because they failed to reasonably determine that there was probable cause to conclude that a domestic violence crime had been perpetrated. So basically, they didn't follow procedures by deciding that domestic violence had probably occurred. Maybe because they didn't see anything that indicated that to them. How is that a failure? That is just the weirdest sentence. It's clear from the depositions of Ms. Heard. Dang it, I'm never going to stop doing that. Ms. Pennington, Mr. Drew, and the supporting metadata from the photos that were taken shortly after the first set of officers left that a domestic violence crime had been perpetrated on Mr. Heard, and evidence was present when the first set of officers were at the scene. That's what he wanted to testify to. But Team Chu argues this opinion not only lacks a valid basis, but it invades the province of the jury because the jury is equally competent to determine this issue of whether Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard without the unhelpful imprimatur of an expert. So basically, we don't need the expert to do the jury's job for them. And this is all this stuff we're skipping through here is basically what he was going to testify to. Because as we said, when they submit their witness testimony list, they say, okay, this is the witness. This is the expert we're going to call. This is what he's going to testify to. And here's his credentials. Or the same if it happens to be a female. And so this is all what he was going to testify to. So we don't need to go over that. Is this the one I think it is? Is this next one coming up the one I think it is? Oh, no, it isn't. This is Ellen Barkin. The motion in limine number 13 is the motion to exclude the testimony of Ellen Barkin. So clearly he lost this one because she was a witness. But let's see what his arguments were and why he was trying to keep her out. But I need another quick drink here. During that motion, we did get another super chat, which we need to address right now. Jillian N., thank you so much for your generous donation. And again, this is how you get your comments read. This is how you get your questions to me or comments to the universe or specifically at someone else in the chat read. Super chats. I see them, I note them, I read them. I wonder if Johnny Depp's team or Mr. Bloom's attorney filed a motion or otherwise requested that the court prevent him from being deposed seems appropriate. They may have. I just literally have no way of knowing that. Nothing I've seen says that they either did or didn't, but I would assume they made the argument. You know, it makes sense that they would. But thank you very, very much for that. That is deeply, deeply appreciated. Yeti, the cooler. But unfortunately, I'm now officially out of Negroni. But the ice is still perfectly there. But never fear, my friends. I've got the backup liquor, the Ardbeg Corryvrecken. So for all of you Scots in here in the chat, we've got the Isla Scotch coming up. All righty. Oh, super chat time. Super chat. Patty LB 1211. Thank you so much. Just Heard or Depp. Just say Heard or Depp. Make it easy on yourself. I'm going to try to do that because literally since last night, I've just been saying Mr. Heard. And the reason I keep saying Mr. Heard is because I know I shouldn't. And I've psyched myself out and I've completely put myself into a position where I'm thinking so hard not to say Mr. Heard that I actually end up saying Mr. Heard. And ladies and gentlemen, allegedly, unlike Mr. Nick Rackets, this is not apple juice. This is the sweet nectar of the gods from the island of Isla on the west coast of Scotland. Ardbeg, Corryvrecken. That was good. Okay. Righto. Ellen Barkin, probably the most benign of testimonies that was given during the entire trial. That was going to be their star witness. That was one of Amber Heard's star witnesses. Ellen Barkin, former partner of Johnny Depp, is going to come in and testify. But her testimony was going to be shit. It was shit, and it had no effect whatsoever. Probably other than to make the jury go, huh? So let's see why he didn't want the Ellen Barkin testimony. Mr. Heard claims, God damn it. Okay, Heard claims, I've got to do that. Heard claims, not Mr. Heard claims. Heard claims. All right. Georgina Archer is answering a question about me, and I don't know what the question was. It's probably usually do I practice law in Korea or something along those lines. I am a lawyer licensed to practice in the state of Utah. There are no foreign lawyers licensed to practice law in the Korean courts. Just nobody's passed the bar. No foreigners have ever passed the bar here. The lawyers that work here, we're kind of classified as consultants, and we basically do everything except go to court. We write up things that get signed off on by Korean lawyers. So basically, we're classified as consultants or foreign legal consultants or foreign legal advisors, things like that. That's sort of officially what I do here in Korea. I work for a law firm that deals mainly with shipping, admiralty, maritime law cases, ship collisions, ship accidents, explosions, crew injuries, cargo damage, shipbuilding contracts, ship sales contracts, ship sinkings, things like that. Patty LB1211, you didn't listen very well. No, I listened and I tried, but I obviously failed to say just heard. So, all right. Thank you very much. Yes, a Taiwanese pirate lawyer, I believe it were. Something close to that. I'll take Korean pirate lawyer. Anywho. So you're like a paralegal? No. No, I'm not like a paralegal. I have paralegals that work for me. All right, here we go. As part of this action, Heard claims that Depp physically abused her. The deposition of I'm going to bring it up on a bigger screen here. All right. The deposition of third-party witness Ellen Barkin was taken in November 22nd, 2019. And Ms. Heard has designated portions of Ms. Barkin's deposition transcripts as evidence in this action. Ms. Barkin testified, and this is the damning testimony. Ooh, that was, yeah, that was, what are we going to call it? Are we going to call it ironic or sarcastic? One of those things. Ms. Barkin testified that she and Depp were in a brief, intimate relationship approximately 3 decades ago. So they brought, and it was apparently a very brief relationship 30 years ago, and that's their star witness. She testified that although Mr. Depp was allegedly verbally abusive to others, but not to Ms. Barkin, she never witnessed him physically attack anyone, and that he was never physically abusive towards Ms. Barkin. Nonetheless, Ms. Barkin further testified that there is always an air of violence around Mr. Depp. That's like these ghost hunter shows, where they have 573 cameras set up in a house, and whatever they see, there's always something they see that's just outside of the camera range. There could be a camera focusing on 359 degrees of a room, and somebody's going to go, oh, there's a ghost over there, and the ghost is going to be in that 1%, that 1 degree of the room that's not covered by a camera. This is what they're saying. Like, he never abused me. He never attacked anyone. But there's always an air of violence about him. Ooh, and this was her big testimony. She further testified that once she witnessed Mr. Depp toss a bottle across a room, and that the bottle did not appear to be aimed at anyone and did not hit anyone. Ms. Barkin's testimony should be excluded because her testimony regarding her relationship from 3 decades ago, in which she plainly admits Mr. Depp did not abuse her, is irrelevant to Ms. Heard's claims about her claims of abuse in this action. Sure, clearly something that happened 30 years ago has no bearing on what happened at this point in time. Yeah. 2, to the extent it is offered to show that Mr. Depp has some sort of predisposition to violence. So, he tossed a bottle and has an air of violence about him. So if you're going to use that to show that Mr. Depp has some sort of predisposition to violence, it does not support that theory. And in any event, it is improper character and reputation evidence that Ms. Heard only seeks to introduce to establish propensity. And then 3, it is extremely remote in time, I guess, and any probative value is slight, such that it would be unduly prejudicial to Mr. Depp for such evidence to be presented to the jury. Therefore, Ms. Barkin's testimony should be excluded in its entirety. The argument behind this is the irrelevant evidence is inadmissible. Not only is it irrelevant, it's also inadmissible. Evidence is only relevant where it has a tendency to make the existence of any fact, in this case, whether or not he abused her, an issue more probable or less probable than it would be without the evidence. Here, Ms. Barkin plainly admits that during her relationship with Mr. Depp, he was never verbally or physically abusive towards her. Ms. Barkin's further testimony is irrelevant because it is vague to the point of incomprehensibility. She testifies that Mr. Depp had an air of violence around him, despite never witnessing him being violent with anyone, other than in one isolated incident where Mr. Depp tossed a bottle that was neither aimed at anyone nor hit anyone. Ms. Barkin's testimony does not make the existence of any fact at issue in this case more likely or less likely to be true. It is irrelevant, vague to the point of being nonsensical, and it should be excluded. That's doing it. It's vague to the point of being nonsensical. And again, it's improper character evidence. Ms. Barkin's testimony that Mr. Depp had an air of violence around him, in addition to being vague and ambiguous, is improper character evidence that is inadmissible and must be excluded. Ms. Barkin's testimony that Mr. Depp tossed a bottle is also inadmissible. It is well established in Virginia that evidence of specific acts of misconduct committed by a witness are not admissible to impeach the witness's credibility, despite any bearing on veracity. Ms. Heard's case centers around whether Mr. Depp abused her, and Ms. Barkin's vague and inappropriate. Did I say Mr. Heard again? God damn it. I think I said Ms. Heard. Ms. Heard's case centers around whether Mr. Depp abused her, and Ms. Barkin's vague and inappropriate testimony has no bearing on that point. Any inferences made from irrelevant scenarios are impermissible. If the jury hears such evidence of unadjudicated misconduct, it will unjustly turn the jury's attention to collateral matters. And again, any evidentiary value is outweighed by the prejudicial impact that it would have. So therefore, exclude it. And that's the end. We'll do one more. If it's the one, yes, the next one is one of my favorite ones. The motion to exclude expert testimony of Dr. David R. Spiegel. But the Ellen Barkin thing, yeah, that was partly one, I guess. They got to say that they got to show the testimony where she said that he chucked a bottle. Well, he didn't even chuck, he tossed a bottle in the general direction of some people and didn't hit anybody. A couple super chats to get through here. Durang on, thank you so much for the euros. Can you include whether the motion was approved or not? Yeah, I kind of sort of did that just now. I'm in France and I couldn't watch the whole trial. Yeah, they don't have the official rulings here. So when I have an idea, I say, and again, I don't know whether I'm right or not. I just know based on what I saw in the trial and what they were arguing. So I kind of sort of have a feel for maybe how it was decided, but yeah, we'll do that. I'll keep trying to do that. Crystal, I'm a Farron mod. I love when you show up in her chat. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I show up in everybody's chat. Just depends who's on when I have time to hang around on YouTube. I do my usual non-legal stuff every day, and then I hit into legal stuff, and I keep that going. And I usually listen to Nick or Kata Law. From my time is perfect. He starts right when I finish lunch, and he usually goes off the air right when I leave the office. So he's usually just kind of on in the background in the afternoons. It was good to see him again today too. All right, this is the last one we'll do today. Where are we at here? We are how many pages into this? We're 147 pages into 424 pages. A lot of this is really, really, really hyper redundant towards the end. So we should be able to wrap everything up on Tuesday, depending how long our time with Andrea goes. But if not, we'll finish it up on Wednesday, and then we'll bandwagon on to what everyone else is doing. Amber Heard's motion to limit stuff. Hers is longer but more basic. Filed under seal. Plaintiff Johnny C. Depp. Motion in limine to exclude expert testimony of Dr. David R. Spiegel. Empty page. The introduction, Ms. Heard. I said Ms. Heard, great. Ms. Heard's designation of Dr. Spiegel to opine on, when we all know what a shit show his evidence was. If you haven't seen his testimony, go back and watch it. It was, for me, he was my favorite witness of the whole trial. Just with his antics and his dumbassery and his lack of knowledge of pretty much anything. Let's see here. Ms. Heard's designation of Dr. Spiegel to opine on Mr. Depp's mental condition without ever examining him is an affront to two orders of this court. The court has denied Ms. Heard's request for an IME. That's a medical examination, independent mental examination. An independent mental examination of Mr. Depp, not once, but twice. We talked about those two yesterday, specifically concluding that Mr. Depp's mental condition is not an issue. So saying the court already determined that that Depp's mental condition is not an issue in this case, and that the parties are not similarly situated. Moreover, Dr. Spiegel's anticipated testimony is utterly without foundation, irrelevant, and could only serve to confuse or mislead the jury with scientifically useless testimony. I love that. With scientifically useless testimony. Ms. Heard has nonetheless designated Dr. Spiegel as an expert witness to testify about Mr. Depp's mental health, even though Dr. Spiegel has never met Mr. Depp, nor conducted any sort of examination or personal evaluation of Mr. Depp. Ms. Heard's third supplement. Dr. Spiegel opines as to the alleged conduct that Mr. Depp allegedly abused Ms. Heard based on cherry-picking evidence. Shamelessly, Dr. Spiegel actually claims to have identified a mental decline in Mr. Depp by comparing his performance at deposition with his performance as an actor in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. You'll remember he actually did that during his testimony. He was saying, well, I was watching him in this movie and his speech was slurred and he was talking slow and he didn't have proper cognition. What a fucking idiot. I swear to God. That is outrageous. Dr. Spiegel has no valid basis to render such opinions, which are irrelevant, lack foundation, and invade the province of the jury. Their non-existent probative value is outweighed by their prejudicial effect. Then he sets out they set out their arguments why Dr. Spiegel's opinion should be excluded. It's irrelevant to the case in hand, and on that basis alone should be excluded. Indeed, twice the court has denied Ms. Heard's request for an IME of Mr. Depp, finding that Mr. Depp has not put his mental health at issue in this case. Ignoring the court's clear ruling on this issue, Ms. Heard has designated Dr. Spiegel to testify about the medical and psychological impact on Mr. Depp based on the evidence of Mr. Depp's alcohol and drug use since the 1980s. In other words, how his drug use has affected his psychological makeup. Mr. Depp demonstrated impaired attention, difficulty with word finding retrieval, demonstrated impaired cognitive memory and processing speed, difficulty in his ability to focus on the topic at hand, disorganized thoughts, difficulty recalling events, details of events, and difficulty with impulse control, and demonstrated erratic behavior. That was a laundry list. Jeez. Mr. Depp is engaged in conduct indicative of or consistent with these risk factors Dr. Spiegel wants to testify to. He also wants to testify that Mr. Depp had a frail temperament that results in lack of behavioral control or impulsivity, and that Mr. Depp is engaged in behavior indicative of and consistent with all of these symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder. I think that's you and or your client, but whatevs. Whatevs. Mr. Depp's mental condition is not at issue, so Dr. Spiegel's opinion should be excluded as irrelevant. His testimony lacks foundation, violates professional ethics and standards. They talk a bit about that. We can just headline this, I guess. Dr. Spiegel's testimony invades the province of the jury. So they're basically going to say that the jury can do just as good a job as Dr. Spiegel can in addressing the areas that are being talked about in his expert opinion. Also, Dr. Spiegel stated in his deposition that he intends to opine that Mr. Depp has committed acts of IPV to a degree of medical certainty. This opinion not only lacks a valid basis and exceeds what a psychiatrist can opine to, it invades the province of the jury because the jury is equally competent to determine the issue of whether Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard. For any probative value, okay, that's the positive value of the testimony is outweighed by the prejudice that will be given. And that's the end of that motion. So they basically wanted to get it out because it's irrelevant. It's stupid. He's never investigated Johnny Depp. He's never examined him. He's watched the Pirates of the Caribbean and based his psychological evaluation on Johnny Depp's performance in the Pirates of the Caribbean. All of this is just, again, what Dr. Spiegel intended to testify to at trial. And his CV is on here somewhere. Yeah, that's his CV. He's got lots of things to say about himself. Come on, get down there. Where's the next one? But we're going to wrap this up right here tonight with just that one. And looking forward to next Tuesday when we will be looking at the expert testimony, the exclusion of the expert testimony of Ronald S. Schnell and Catherine Arnold. All righty. Let me close this up and bring my lovely self back. There we go. All right. Well, hour and 43 minutes. Still got 240 peeps sticking around. We've got more than that in likes. Any of you that are here that haven't hit that like button, please do that. Please hit that like button. That really lets YouTube know that you like us. And we're still sitting at exactly 22,599 subscribers. It's gone up a little bit. It's gone down a little bit. It's balanced off right where we started. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please, I hope I've done enough that you can accept the fact that I'm a good person and that you like me and I stepped on a bee. No, just kidding. Hey, I hope that you like what's here. And if you do like what's here, hit that subscribe button. Come and join us nearly every day, unless there's some sort of emergency or something else going on. It's a pleasure having all of you here. we got about 15 minutes, and then we'll call it a night. So now is our chance. Let's see. Do we have? I don't think I have any outstanding super chats. Nope. No missed super chats. I really do miss my Negroni, though. But I've got my Isla Scotch. He did that Island of Dr. Moreau movie in 1996. Was Johnny Depp in that? I know Val Kilmer was in it. Marlon Brando was in it. Who are we talking about? I don't remember Johnny Depp being that. If that was the case, I missed it. But anyway, okay. Again, let's go through the litany of things to go through. Hit the like button, please. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. If you are a subscriber to my channel, if you think you're a subscriber to my channel, please go down there, double check, and make sure, because YouTube, for some reason, unsubscribes people on a regular basis. So, okay. Also, again, tomorrow, starting at, oh God, if the time serves me right, it'll be 8 p.m., 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fair and Balanced will be on here for our conspiracy show. Monday will be the Maritime Law Day, like we always do. I'll find some things to go through there. And Tuesday will be Andrea Burkhart will be on the channel to talk about the copying of the unsealed documents. And then we'll get back and we'll continue doing this throughout the rest of next week, looking at other motions, other documents that have been submitted, and see if we can find some of the juicy details in the 6,600 pages that were released. All right, that is it. We got all the super chats out of the way. We got all the grifting out of the way. The only grift that's left is if you want to throw in a super chat question between now and the end of the show, please do. Other than that, that's it. So, hey, what do we talk about? Legal Vice is what time Brisbane tomorrow? Let's see. It'll be 8 a.m. there, so it'll be 9 p.m. here. So it will be 10 p.m. Canberra time. And I assume Brisbane is in the same time zone as Canberra, I think. Steph! What's up, Steph? We're rocking it with my Steph here. Oh my God, thank you so much. Jeez, stop doing this. Please stop. Oh, stop some more. Keep stopping. Thank you for taking the time to go over all of this. You're the best. No, you're the best. Don't forget that. Again, thank you so much for the generous super chat there. I got nothing to say other than, hey, now I can afford to go get a beard trim. That's my big project over the weekend. I gotta trim things up here. I'm about 3 weeks behind on my trim. It's long. I just look like a dime store drunken Santa Claus. So we'll get this rush case. Yeah, again, we're gonna kind of keep digging through these documents for the next little while, probably the next week. Because there's a lot to unpack here and a lot of interesting things. But when we get back to things as normal, that's one of the things that we're going to be getting at is the rush case. We've got the Occupational Safety and Health Administration report and a couple of other documents related to that I want to read. We'll definitely be getting back there as soon as possible. Holly Midlife says there's a case in Canada I'd be curious your thoughts about. If there are things that you want me to see, and now like the most important thing right now is if you want, because tomorrow is the conspiracy day. and Paranormal Day. So if you have any like haunting videos, any unexplained mystery videos, anything like that you think would be really cool. I mean, really good quality, like ghost videos or Bigfoot things or Loch Ness Monster or UFOs. If there's some really good short videos, say between 5 and 10 minutes, please send them to me, and we'll definitely look at them tomorrow if they're if it looks like it's good to go with the program. So, and also with the you say there's a case in Canada that you're curious about my thoughts about. Please send that to me by email or send me a link to some information on Twitter. My email address is thelegalvices@gmail.com. And my Twitter is thelegalvices at Twitter. And especially if the Canadian deal, if it's something that's interesting, I can get Runkle of the Bailey on here as a Canadian lawyer to give some insight. That would be fun. So yeah, please email me or send me a tweet DM about it, and I will definitely look at it. And someone else asked about the Exxon Valdez. We'll get there someday. There's so many of these big shipping accidents we can discuss. I have a couple lined up ready to go, but we'll get there. And again, if there's particular ship accidents, send me a link. Go to send it by email. Send me a link of maybe your favorite video explaining it, or your favorite videos of the shipping incident. Just anything you want me to take a look at. Boom. Do you write briefs in English or Hangul? I do all of the English writing and translating from Korean to English when necessary. Interpreting things like that. And I'm so happy. I thought I would have to miss another week tomorrow because we have some clients, we have some colleague lawyers flying in from London next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for meetings in Seoul on a big disaster case we've been working on. There was a ferry collision in Hungary in June of 2019. Yeah, in June 2019, that killed 27 people. We've been working on that case, and the colleague lawyers are coming in from London next week. And I thought I had to go to those meetings, but I managed to get it. My boss is going to go. None of us other lawyers have to go to it, so that's good. I'll be here all next week. I almost wasn't, but I am. We got another super chat here from Flux. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And that's a generic man. I don't know. I don't mean to misgender anyone by saying man, but dude and man is my generic term. Can you please just keep going till I get off work? When do you get off work? Your voice is and topics are great. I'm an accountant, so it gets dull. You keep it tolerable. Well, thanks. I'm glad a lawyer is slightly more entertaining than an accountant. That's not saying much, but yeah. So it looks like for those of you that may not have seen the chat or may not have known, Stephanie was involved in a car accident the other day and seems to be improving. Always good. Shout out to Steph. You're awesome. You're great. Love you. Get better. Keep pressing on there. Let's see. Yeah, the Titanic. We're going to do lots of things. All righty then. Anything else? Anybody? I mean, we usually end up talking about music and things. We kind of went off on old movies today here in the chat. I love you guys. You guys are so great with the chats. I purposely try to, like I said, it doesn't make any sense, but I try to look at chat without looking at the chat, because the shit you guys are talking about is either so over the top or it's interesting. And so I'm talking about my shit while I'm trying to see but not see what you're talking about. Righty then. Somebody were asking about cases of barges hitting bridges on the Mississippi. The last major accident we did we do the bridge case before the Edmund Fitzgerald, or did we do the Edmund Fitzgerald before the bridge thing? I think we did. I can't remember. But yeah, well, we can do lots of things. Email me specific cases, or send links to Twitter, and we'll look at them and add them to the list if they're particularly interesting. Mortimer Duke, thank you for the super chat. Further chat greatness. Apparently the chat's great. Like I said, I try to look at it without looking at it, because if I look too deeply, I'm just going to stop talking and just freak out reading what you guys do. It's awesome. And you'll all make it awesome. Megan Fox with the normal thumbs is awesome. The Valhalla awaits. You win the comment of the night. The Megan Fox with the normal thumbs is awesome. Now, if there are any of you that don't know this, that Valhalla awaits is referring to LawTube Megan Fox. Yeah, she's officially part of LawTube. Not that I have any say in who is or is not LawTubes. I even hate the term LawTubes. But she's a journalist. I said lawyer, but she's actually a journalist that does a lot of LawTube stuff. She's on a lot of LawTube things, and she has normal thumbs, I presume. But actress Megan Fox, she has those little stubby, jacked up thumbs. If you, I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but Google actress Megan Fox's thumbs, and you'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll see what was being talked about by Valhalla awaits. With Megan Fox with the normal thumbs is awesome. That was good. You win the internet comment of the day. Well, Lady Autumn comes in close by calling them toe thumbs. Everyone else likes toe thumbs too. They are thumbs that look like toes. Phil, what's Phil doing? I get it. Philadelphia, if we press the G on your cap, do you spurt? Because it's a G spot. I see what you did there. Hey, we don't ban people for finding the G spot. Georgina, we give people awards for finding the G spot. Don't forget that. Legal Vices, are you able to go fishing there? Yeah, there's some good fishing spots. I haven't been fishing for several years though. All my fishing buddies moved away. It's interesting that like there's a big river here in Busan, the Nakdong River, that is just chock full of wide-mouthed bass. But somehow, I mean, it's obviously not native to Korea. Somehow the wide-mouthed bass got injected into the Korean ecosystem, and Koreans consider bass to be trash fish. So they don't eat the bass here, which means like all the foreigners go out bass fishing and just nerd out on bass. But yeah, I haven't been. My friend with the little river boat moved away. All my other fishing buddies moved away, so I kind of sold all my fishing gear and tackle a couple of years ago. I love fishing. I just love to go out early in the morning and just chill and sit. But yeah, there's a lot of great fishing spots here. Most Koreans don't do a lot of river fishing. They do mainly sea fishing. I like river fishing. That's just me. Digger 420. Come on, you got to know where the G spot is. Steph probably knows. She's giggling. Well, bass are fun to fish because they fight, but they don't taste as good as walleye or crappies. Yeah, that's the fun thing about, and they don't taste bad. They're great fighters, and they don't taste bad. Like carp are great fighters, but I'd rather eat shoe leather than a carp. Legal Vices, can you do the Titanic one night? Yeah, sure. There's lots of videos on the Titanic. And someone was telling me about a conspiracy where apparently the Titanic was supposed to have been switched with another ship. A kitty cat says that's ironic because here we have a huge problem with Asian carp. And Koreans will eat carp. Like I said, carp is a kind of a delicacy, but bass is a trash fish. It's just one of those weird cultural things. All right, here's Holly Midlife bragging again. G-spot, I'll put it this way. I have a very happy husband. Hey. Oh, Steph, come on. Do you really know where the G-spot is? Well, there's only one way to find out if I do or don't, isn't there? Just saying. Stingrays will rip your arm off. And they'll punch a big hole in your chest if you're Steve Irwin. Steph, you naughty, naughty girl. I forgot to say thank you for that. I think you broke the comment, Steph. Eel is good. Yeah. Eel is a big thing around my neighborhood here. There's some incredible barbecued eel restaurants. Oh my God, they're so good. Yeah, the grilled eel. It's kind of hard to pronounce. Grilled eel is one of my favorites. They sound like Kermit the Frog. Grilled eel. Grilled eel is one of my favorite foods. Oh, I love it. All right. We hit the 2-hour mark. We can say whatever we want. So I'll just say fuck, fuckity, fuck, just because I can. Yeah, not a big fan of jellied eel. Like it grilled. I fucking hate trying to eat around the little bones in fish. That's one of the good thing about eels. When you grill them and cook them right, you just eat the bones. They're just micro bones. You get to eat the bones. You don't have to pick your way around them. All righty. Holloway says, say cunt, say cunt, say cunt. I did that once and got in trouble, so I'm not going to do it again. Ha. All right. We hit the 2-hour mark. We accomplished what we wanted to accomplish today. I greatly appreciate all of you being here. We're going to wrap this up for tonight. We will be back tomorrow again. Look at the Twitter for the notification. Make sure you've hit that notification button so you're notified of exactly when it is. But tomorrow's show, if I recall correctly, will be 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will be 9 p.m. Korea time and 2 p.m. London time and 10 p.m. Canberra time. We will be having Farron Balanced on to talk about conspiracy theories. Again, so far we've got Bigfoot lined up. We've got the Tsar Nicholas and the Romanov family lined up. We've got the Dyatlov Pass incident, and we're going to do some hauntings and things. And if there's any spooky shit you want me to look at, send it to me now so I can look at it when I wake up in the morning before I go to work. And we'll see if we can't work it into the program tomorrow night, because we're just all about cool shit. That's about it. That's all I got. Thank you so much to my mods for just being the goofballs that you are. Everything you do is greatly appreciated. You keep yourselves under control. You keep other people guided. And thank you to all of you that participate in the chats. I think we have one of the best chats around. We're adults. We know where the lines are drawn and we don't cross them usually. On your way out, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Come back tomorrow where we talk about spooky shit. Until tomorrow, I got a piece of mustache hair in me and in my mouth. That's why we shave. Yeah. Okay. As I was saying, until tomorrow, until we gather for spooky shit time, take care of yourself, be good to each other, and enjoy your legal vices. I'm out.